Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I seek refuge with Allah from the thoughts, whispers, and suggestions of the evil one, the shaitan. With the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome to Masjid Ashura, a Dawah community under the leadership of the Honorable Amir Fahid Ali Muwakil. At this time, we're going to ask every brother, everyone, to make sure that you're maintaining your distance. We're also going to ask everyone, if you don't have a mask on at this time, please get one. We have some out front. And without any further ado, I bring to you the founder and leader of Masjid Ashura, the founder of Salam Memorial, the founder of the most progressive Dawah effort in America. And without any further ado, I bring to you the Honorable Amir Fahid Ali Muwakil. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
And indeed, Allah is Akbar. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge in Allah from Satan, the rejected enemy. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. With the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness there's none worthy of worship as a God, as a deity, as a creator but Allah. And I bear witness of Muhammad ibn Abdullah, a man who lived, strove, succeeded, and passed away over 14 centuries ago, is God's last prophet. Dear beloved Muslims, I greet you in the greetings of peace, the greetings of our holy book, the Quran, the greetings of our religion, which is Islam, the greetings of the prophets, beginning with Adam and certainly end with Muhammad. May God peace and blessing be upon him. And finally, the greetings of all of us who call ourselves Muslims of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah, which means all praises are due to Almighty God, Allah. We want to welcome our TV audience and our YouTube audience to our Friday Jummah prayer service here at Masjid Ashura. Masjid Ashura is the first masjid, mosque, some call it a house of worship, that has been built up from the ground by indigenous, native African-American Muslims in the great city of Atlanta and the great state of Georgia, alhamdulillah. It is also home of Salam Memorial Cemetery, Atlanta's first and only Islamic cemetery that buries in the tradition of the Sunnah of our Prophet, our religion, alhamdulillah. With that, we want to thank God Almighty for these two fantastic, powerful gifts that He has bestowed on this particular community, Masjid Ashura. Surely Allah has favored us, and for that favor, we give all praise to Him, and all worship is to Him. Alhamdulillah. We want to welcome our TV audience to our Friday Jummah prayer service again, and our YouTube audience. We are located at 3095 Jonesboro Road in the great city of Atlanta. We invite you because it is our responsibility to invite all to the religion of Islam. We invite you to come Friday, bring your mask, practice social discipline as we are struggling with this pandemic, COVID-19, and you are welcome here. We're going to be holding Jummah here as long as, inshallah, permits us to. We understand the situation that is plaguing not only this country, but throughout the world. So we hope and pray that Allah protect us. You know, we have a saying, and it says we had to turn it around. You want to tie your camel and trust in Allah. We don't say trust in Allah, but tie your camel, because that's that says to someone's mind that God can't take care of you. So we say tie your camel and trust in Allah, because certainly Allah will make sure that your camel is protected, and that's what we feel here at Masjid Assure.
I mean,
while we're here and doing this pandemic that we have in this country, I've asked all of the speakers here, including myself, to kind of shorten our lectures, because we want to try to be as safe as possible. So I'm going to try to end this within 30 minutes, inshallah. Only thing is, we have TV programs that last an hour, and normally our Jummah service lasts an hour, so we have to do some fillers. Today, brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about the commandments of Allah. A lot of you are Christians or was Christians, and you know about the 10 Commandments. Some of our brothers and sisters who was born in Islam, or born in Islamic country, they don't know too much about the Bible. The Bible is not their choice reading. But here in America, most of us, like myself, are converts. We came from one religion to this religion. We was based in the Bible. And God tells us in the Quran that those books that came before the Quran, we must accept them, at least the truth of those books. And what you have in the Bible in Genesis, the first books of the Bible is Genesis. You have the 10 Commandments that Moses was supposed to went up and he received. They called it in the Bible Mount Sinai, that God gave him the 10 Commandments. And those of us who are Christians, we know what the 10 Commandments were. All are good. I must say, those 10 Commandments that Moses brought down, according to the Bible, are all good. The first one being, I am the Lord thy God, have no other God before me. That was the first commandment, according to the Bible, that we was raised, that God has said. I am the Lord thy God, there have no other God before me. He goes into detail. He said, don't look at nothing in the sea, above the land, or anything that's nothing like unto him. At the same time, we have this misnomer of language by saying that God made man in his own image. Stuff for Allah. And most Christians think that God was a man. Since he made man in his own image, they translate that to mean that we look like God. Subsequently, you have these pictures of Jesus and whatever in people's homes, and they look at these pictures and they think that's God. That's stuff for Allah. But we also have commandments in the Quran. Now, the commandments in the Quran are very similar to those in the Bible. They are more extensively and they're more clear. I'm going to read some of them to you in the Quran, because it's best to read the Quran and give you God's commandments. And we're going to open These particular commandments are found in the surah called the bees. And we're going to start with ayat 90. Indeed, God commands justice, grace, as well as courtesy to close relatives. He forbids indecency, wickedness, and aggression. He instructs you so perhaps you may be mindful. Let me read that again. Indeed, God commands justice. And as we know, this is what African Americans in particular in this country, that we're seeking justice. All we want is justice. All human beings want justice. And the first commandment that God gives us in this particular ayah is, indeed, God commands. Commands mean that He is telling you, you must do this. This is a command. You must give justice. Indeed, God commands justice, grace, as well as courtesy to close relatives. That's an old saying, charity started at home and spread abroad. You first have to be just and courteous to your own people, to your own relatives, before you can even try to give it to anyone else. You show me a man or a woman who is courtesy, respectful, and loving to their own relatives, and I show you a man that will love the community. You show me a person or a woman or a man who don't give his own family members respect, don't respect his mother, don't respect his father, don't respect the relatives, don't respect none of his kinfolk, and I show you a man that will not respect the outer community. God said, indeed, God commands justice, grace, as well as courtesy to close relatives. He forbids indecency, wickedness, and aggression. He instructs you so perhaps you will be mindful. He also said, honor Allah's covenant when you make a pledge and do not break your oath after confirming them. A covenant is an oath. It's an oath. It's a honor God's covenant. Honor your oath to Allah. When we say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, that's a covenant that we make to become Muslims. We're taking an oath or a vow that we bear witness there's no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his last prophet. That's a covenant. And God said you must honor that wherever you may be. And in America, is no better place to honor this covenant than in this country. A country that is predominantly a Christian country. That when you stand up in this country, you say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, you will let everyone know that you are up under this commandment. You are up under this covenant. And God said, honor it. And honor means that when you say this, that you say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, then God expects for you to do what? Give justice. Avoid indecency. Don't be transgressed. Don't transgress against people. This is a covenant that God has made of us, and this is the covenant that we have made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Honor God's covenant when you make a pledge, and do not break your oath after confirming them, having made God your grantor. Surely Allah knows all you do. Do not be like the woman who foolishly unravels her yarn after it is firmly sprung, by taking your oath as a means of deceiving one another in favor of a stronger group. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So when you give your word to Allah and to others, you must honor that. And you don't break that oath, you don't break that covenant just to join another group that may be stronger in your eyes or richer in your eyes. You don't break your covenant to La ilaha illallah just to join them. We must honor our covenants that we make. God further says, surely Allah tests you through this, and on the day of judgment, he will certainly make your differences clear to you. Had God willed, he could have easily made you one community of believers. But he leads astray whomever he wills and guides whomever he wills. And you will certainly be questioned about what you used to do. And do not take your oath as a means of deceiving one another, or your feet will slip after they have been firm. Then you will taste the evil consequences of hindering others from the way of God, and you will suffer a tremendous punishment. And do not crave God's covenant for a fleeting grain. See, when you hear God repeat things over and over, honor, covenant, oaths, meaning that you have to take this for heart. There's an old saying, a Muslim word is his bond. When a Muslim tell you something, you should bank on that. You shouldn't worry about if he's going to break it. And when he tells you something, he don't have to say inshallah. And we say inshallah sometimes as a force of habit. But when a Muslim give you his word, you should be able to trust in that word, if nothing else, based on that person's character and honor that he gives to you and to others. We as Muslims, we are honored people. We are not treacherous. We shouldn't be aggressive. We don't practice indecency. We try to do the right thing. But above all of this, we are just people. We give justice. God says in the Quran, give justice even to somebody you don't even like. Be just to them. So if a person that you may be at odds with, who you may personally dislike, if he comes to you for justice, God has told you to give him justice. Meaning that we can be able to serve on any court in this country, whether it's a Christian court, Hindu court, or whatever. If a Muslim is the judge, the people who are coming before him should be assured that he will give them justice. He will give them justice because if he is a believer, he has made an oath, a covenant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give justice. Brothers and sisters, it is indeed a great honor to be a Muslim. Never take this religion for granted. Now, those of you who were not born in Islam, whose mother and father was not Muslim, and you find yourself in this religion, then certainly you should be most honored that God chose you to have to listen to the word and for the word of God to hit your heart and your mind. For those of you who have been born Muslims, whose parents was Muslims, whose father was Muslim, whose ancestors was Muslims, you have a difficult job to work on. You have to leave your parents and be on your own in accepting this religion. You have to take your shahada. Just being born of a Muslim male and a female, just because your mother and father was a Muslim, doesn't make you a Muslim. You have to, once you get knowledge and once you understand this religion, you have to step forward and take your shahada, just like any brother we bring out the street, any sister we bring out the street, who heard the word and who wants to come and he wants to declare, make their declaration to be a Muslim. You have to do this. I see so many Muslims that was born Muslims, they have never taken their shahada. They say, well, what is that about you being born? I was born a Christian. That don't make me a Christian. When I decided, my first decision about religion is when I accepted the religion of Islam. Now in Christianity, they have a thing, they got a thing they call baptism. Even if you were born a Christian, you have to be baptized. You have to sit on the mourning bench. Some of y'all don't know what this is. You have to sit on the mourning bench. And the mourning bench is, you have to be in waiting. They call it the mourning bench. Like you in the playing basketball, you sit on the bench and wait on to get in the game. They call that a mourning bench. So you have to sit there until you decide it's time for you to be baptized. And so when you decide that you want to be baptized, I'll just give you the Christianity, because I'm but a Christian. The difference between Christians, you got a Methodist and you have the Baptist. The Baptists dump you in water. That's what they do. The Baptists, when the preacher get ready to baptize you in the name of so and so and so, he gonna take you, he gonna dump you in that water and bring you up. And when he bring you up, you're supposed to be a Christian now. That's their shahada. Now, and the Methodists and the Catholicism, they just sprinkle a little water on your head. They don't dump you like the Baptists do. The Baptists go back to the old ways. But that's what they do to become a Christian. See, just because my mother and father was a Christian, I just thought about it. I never did get baptized. Alhamdulillah. For some reason, I didn't make it. But I saw many people who did baptize. I'm in the church, man. That's one of the good things, So, and some people, they come out of that water, they get to shouting and going on, and it's hallelujah, So that's their journey into Christianity. And in Islam, we also have to be baptized. And baptized is on a term that means that you have to become a member of what you are saying you're in. We baptize with Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's when we really become a Muslim. That's when you really have committed and made the oath, have took a covenant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you must honor it, and you must follow the rules and regulations of this religion as God set forth in the Quran. So those of you who was born Muslim, by a mother Muslim and a father Muslim, you need to take your baptism. You need to step forward. If you never have taken your Shahada in front of a group, you just take it for granted because mom and dad was a Muslim, then I'm a no. You must come before the believers. And I've seen a lot of brothers and sisters who was born in an Islamic country and who was Muslim. I've seen many of them come and take their Shahada. They felt better once they took it on their own. And you would feel better. All praise be to Allah. As a person that was from another faith, I know what the feeling is. I liken it to the night of power. And I'll go into that, inshallah, in the second part of this khutbah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Now, I said I would liken this to the night of power. Because the night of power is when the Prophet Muhammad, may God peace and blessings be upon him, got baptized. Meaning that for months and sometimes he went up in a cave searching for the answers, searching for something, searching for the meaning of everything. He wasn't a pagan. He didn't worship the pagans. He didn't follow the pagan religion of his fathers and his cousins. But he knew there was more to life than what he was living in Mecca. So he set out to find this. There's an old biblical saying, search and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. So he went up in this cave, Mount Hara, went up in the cave. He sat in total darkness, meaning that there's tales that he didn't even take a candle with him. He went in the cave in total darkness. You know, if you sit in the dark long enough, you'll begin to see. Once your eyes become acclimated to the darkness, you're able to see better than a person who just entered a cave. If you've been sitting there for 2 hours, God has made the human being acclimate himself to the environment. He sat up in that cave, looking for something, searching for something. Then it came. Then came Gabriel. Then God sent down the Quran to him. Read, proclaim. See, that's the night of power. When that happened, it moved him so much. It affected him so much that he got scared. Because Gabriel told him to read. He said, read what? You know, man up there, if you was observing him, you would think he was talking to himself. But surely he was in communication with the messenger that God sent him, Gabriel. So excited that he was to receive this revelation, something that he was been looking for. So excited that he rushed out of that cave. And he was just shook up. He went home. And the story said he was in chills and sweating. So his wife wrapped him up. And she asked him, you know, what's happening, Muhammad? And he told her what happened to him. And you can just imagine how his mind was racing, how his heart was beating as he told her that Gabriel had spoke to him this revelation. And God had told him to proclaim, and he'd heard words that he had never heard before. That's the night of power. That's a powerful night. And I tell brothers, all praise be to Allah, that whenever I had my night of power. I felt just like Prophet Muhammad when I received the Quran for the first time as a Christian, never knowing nothing about this religion. When I heard the words of the Quran, I felt like Prophet Muhammad. It shook me. It shook my very core. It shook everything that I once believed in. It quakened that. Because I heard something I never heard before. I heard La ilaha illallah. Now in Christianity, they preach one God, but they got it so mixed up. God is one, God is three, Jesus, God. But when I heard this, it was very clear. Now, and getting back to Prophet Muhammad, and I tell brothers this, after he received that revelation, God told him to read and proclaim. We don't have stories, we don't have reports that he ever went back up in that cave sitting in the dark anymore. There wasn't no need to go back up in the cave because God gave him the truth. God gave him the revelation. He came from that cave, out of that darkness, into light. To spread this new thing that he received. He went around in Mecca. He gave his night of power. He injected his night of power in Khadijah. Alhamdulillah, the first believer of Prophet Muhammad. He injected his night of power in Abu Bakr, the first male who received the Siddiq. He injected his night of power in Ali. And from there, he went from person to person, injecting the night of power. And his followers went along with him. And they started injecting the night of power to people who weren't believers. Bilal got injected. Zayd got injected. Taha got injected. Hamza got injected. The night of power is so powerful, it's like an injection when you get it. It brings you out of darkness into light. And as believers here at Masjid Ashura, all praise be to Allah, when we go out and we take the Quran, when we give a person a copy of the Quran, and if that person goes in that Quran and it's changed his very or her very being, they have gotten that light of power. The night of power is to be given, not just sitting around trying to look for it. It's already here. This is what came down. And when you pray on the night of power, as we observe and we make observation and we try to find it, everything you're looking for is here. Now remember, when Prophet Muhammad was up in the cave, it wasn't here. What he was looking for had not came down. So when you go to the Holy Masjid and you sit there and you want a light of power and you're looking for God to sit, well, he's already sent it to you. It's right here. If you're looking for hope, here it is. If you're looking for mercy, here it is. If you're looking for guidance, here it is. If you're looking for how to get to paradise, here it is. If you're looking for truth, here it is. So you don't have to be searching because God has already gave you the night of power. And he said, what you have here is worth 1,000 months. There's no new revelation coming out the sky. There's no revelation come from Jibril or Michael, none of the angels. They've already done their job. So on the night of power, instead of you searching for it, most of you already got it. Go and try to give it to somebody. Give it someone this night of power. Because when this religion hits you, it is powerful, brothers and sisters. It changed your very life. You cease being who you were or who you are. And you become a new person once you receive it. And you rejuvenate yourself. So this is the night of power. And my night of power, Prophet Muhammad just got healed in the month of Ramadan. You know, it wasn't just the month of Ramadan. My night of power, man, it came in November. Whatever month it came, you're going to remember it. We celebrate Ramadan. We celebrate that holy month because why? This came down in that month. And I'm quite sure we wasn't fasting the month of Ramadan. Arabs wasn't fasting no month of Ramadan. You know, the Arabs wasn't practicing fasting during the month of Ramadan. And for a long time, Prophet Muhammad wasn't fasting to the month of Ramadan. Until what? Revelation came down to tell Prophet Muhammad to fast during that month. And it came down to ask him to fast in that month because that month had become special now. Why? Because that's when the Quran came down. That's when it came down. To commemorate the night of power, to commemorate a month that is worth 1,000 months, God said fast. I bet you remember Ramadan. Every Muslim that I know, he knows Ramadan. He can hear it coming. 2 months off. Here come Ramadan. And when it gets here, you can feel it. Ramadan makes you feel it. You have to feel Ramadan. You don't go through the month of Ramadan. There's no other month like Ramadan. Because why? You feel it. God said, you think I'm going to reveal this book during this month and you're going to just walk around the earth and I'm not going to make you feel it? I'm going to make you feel it. Don't drink. Don't eat. Don't have sex. Man, for those 30 days, you feel it. You feel it so powerful, you hear it coming. Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. And you look at it, oh, okay, I got 30 days, Ramadan, Ramadan. And as you get closer and closer and closer, you say, oh, Allah, help me get through Ramadan. First 10 days of Ramadan is rough. It's a struggle. You get headaches and everything trying to break you. The shaitan is trying to break you. Break that fast. And Muslims be hung tight. Because what? It's worth 1,000 months. Because what? The Quran. This. So we commemorate the month of Ramadan because that's when this book was revealed. And God had to give us something. He had to send us something that we would never forget when this book came down. See, I got my night of power, but I can't even tell you what month I got it in. I can't tell you. I know how I felt when it came, but I'm not the prophet. My month wasn't worth 1,000 months. Ramadan is. But every one of us who are Muslims, we have to experience the prophet's night of power. That God sent down Gabriel to him. And we honor that month. That month is the most powerful month in our religion. The whole Islamic world come to a halt. It don't matter if it's a virus coming here.